So now that we've installed all the packages that we're going to use for this project, let's just go ahead and run our migration. Now, before we run the migration, we need to create some migration of our own, and we need to actually create the database that we hold all these informations. So let's just go over to our localhost and actually create a new database for that. And I'll call this search. So that's all we need for that. And let's just go by and close this tab. Let's close all this tab. So if we should come over to our Virtual Studio Code, and right here we're going to go over to we're going to open a new terminal, and right here we're just going to create the models that we need, and also create the controllers, and also create the migration. So let's just go over it and create that. So if we go and say PHP artisan make model, and this will be a product, and we want a migration, and we want a controller, and we also want a migration for this model. So let's just click enter and just wait for that to create. Now the model has been created, the migration has been created, and let's just wait for that to create the controller. So we've created a controller. The next thing we need to do is the category model. So let's just click enter and create that too. So the last thing we need to do is create the store. Let's create the store model. So this will be store, and let's just run that again. So let's go over to our category first, our category migration, before we actually run the migration. So let's go over to our category migration. And right here we need a category name and probably a description so that we can search through this, so that we can search through the description too. So let's just go over and create a table, and this will be a string which we hold our name. And also we want to create the description row. So let's just say this will be a text, and this will be description. So that's all we need to do for category. And right here, let's just try to make this smaller, and let's go over to our store. Now the store, let's go over to store, and this we have a name. Sorry, yeah, this will be a string and with a name, and this will be a table. This will be a text for description. And the next thing we want to do is actually have a avatar, like an image holder in our database, that we hold the link to the image. So this will be image. This will be a string, and this will be image. And also we want to give this store a category ID, because we want store to belong to a of category, because we don't just want to create the store to just be there. A store must have a category so that you can say, okay, this is the kind of category the store belongs to. So right here we can say table, and this will be an integer, and right here we're going to have category ID. So hopefully this makes sense to you, and let's go over to our product and do the same thing. So for the product, we're going to need the name, more like the store. So let's just copy this. So we also need the for the product. We also need the store ID because we're going to be running relationship between all these. So let's just have the store ID, and you can decide to have tags too, so that you can have perfect result when you're searching. So you can have tags for the product, so you can have a perfect result when you're searching. But for now, this we do. Um, if we want to do, we can add a price to this. So we can go ahead and add a price. It all depends on you. And let's just go over. It's still going to be an integer, so let's just say price, and I think that's it. So we just have to run our migration now. But before we do that, let's just go over to our env file, and let's just add uh, do that. And this will be search. So this will be search. So let's just go ahead and run our migration. So PHP artisan migrate. Let's just do that, and let's see. So we've successfully run the migration. Now we have our tables. The next thing we need to do is populate the table, and we're going to be using Cedar for this because we want to search through the table and get results. So it won't make sense if the table is empty. We're just going to be getting a null result. So we actually want to get results from our table. So let's just go ahead and populate this table and use Cedar for this.